Guys are the key to reality.
Good morning and welcome to the Economic Development Authority meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2022. First item of business is roll call, and we do have a quorum present. Second item of business, 2.1, EDA March 12th, 2024 minutes.
I'll offer a motion to approve those.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries. Item 3.1, 2024 PHA Annual Plan.
All right, good morning, President and Commissioners. The draft 2024 PH Annual Plan was distributed at the March EDA meeting, and today we will hold a public hearing and take any comment on the plan, and then close the public hearing and pass the plan by resolution. So there's been no changes since the last meeting to the plan.
Okay, it is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to come forward and talk?
Okay, seeing none, I will offer the resolution closing the public hearing and approving the 2024 PHA Annual Plan for the public housing, and, and Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Director Bregel, please call the roll.
All right, Commissioner Berg,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalk,
Yes.
Commissioner Bedker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schultz,
Yes.
Commissioner Henn,
Yes.
President Markgraf.
Yes, that motion carries. Item 4.1, Administrative Activities for March of 2024.
All right, you've got the report in your packet. I just have a few items to highlight. Note under the public housing program, we've submitted all the applications to PUC for the solar panel project. So we're just waiting for approval on those. Note under EDA, the purchase agreement has now been signed for the EDA lots at 318, 320, and 326 North Broadway. We don't have a closing date scheduled yet, but we expect that to take place by June 1st. Under the Home Buyer Assistance Loan Program, one new application was approved. Those are all of the items I would want to highlight, but if there's any questions, happy to answer those.
Well, yeah, I do have a question, and maybe I'm too early on this, but you're aware I've had some problems with vision, and I've missed a bunch of meetings. Who's buying that land, and what are they going to do with it?
So,
I think he's referring to
yeah, that's the
Broadway.
CBC Fisher Group out of Mankato is buying the land, and they're going to do mixed use. So they'll do retail / commercial or office on the bottom, and between 4 to 8 units on the top.
48?
4 to 8.
Say, whoa, wait a minute. How tall are we going? I'll offer a motion to accept the Economic Development Authority administrative activities for the month of March 2024.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5.1, Public Housing Family Unit Utility Allowance Schedules.
All right, usually we bring this item before you every December, but because of the solar panel project, we've transferred all of the utility bills into the EDA's name, so the tenants are no longer responsible to pay the electric portion of their utility bill. So in the family units, they still pay the gas, water, sewer, and garbage. The only change is that we took the electric out of their name. So as a result, I wanted to revise the utility allowance schedules so at their next annual recertification, which will be effective September 1st, the utility allowances will reflect that change. So it lowered them a little bit. You can see for the 2-bedroom, going from 118 to 100, 3-bedroom 184 to 123, and in the 4 bedrooms 241 to 145. So when we calculate their rent for their annual, their rent might be a little bit higher, but their utility bill should be lower without that electric, so it evens out. And I just wanted to make sure the utility allowances reflect that. So,
Because it seemed like a huge percentage drop for the 4-bedroom in comparison to the 2-bedroom.
it's just based on usage.
Okay.
So more people, more usage, more kids using devices, and more bedrooms, lights on, and they have 2 bathrooms. So it just depends on how many people are in the house and how much they use. So, and then the Broadway House tenants, their annuals are March 1st. So that'll just happen in December like normal for their annual research.
If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to adopt the revised public housing family unit utility allowance schedules effective September 1st, 2024.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. 5.2, EDA, April 9th, 2024 claims list.
Right. I'll just point out that we're paying our annual property taxes this month, so the claims are a little higher than normal. And then on the leading edge landscapes, that is for the planters in front of Broadway House on 3rd North. They've been in disrepair, deteriorating, and they need to be replaced. And I've been trying to get bids on that project for several years. Finally got bids this year, and initially we were looking at removing the 2 mature trees and the tree planters on 3rd North, but we actually revised the plan and were able to keep those trees. So I'm happy that I won't face the backlash of taking down nice, healthy, mature trees. So that was good.
I'll make a motion to approve the EDA April 9, 2024 claims list.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 6.1, Section 8, HCV and Public Housing Revised Income Limits.
All right. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is required by law to update income limits on an annual basis, and those get published every spring. They just published those last week. They were effective April 1st, and they did increase slightly. So the median income in Brown County for a household of 4 has increased from $91,000 to $93,200. And you can see the current income limits that were effective May 15th, 2023, and compared to the revised income limits effective April 1st, 2024. Just all had a slight uptick. And those just need to be formally adopted by the board.
Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I'll make a motion to adopt the revised income limits for Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher and Public Housing Programs effective April 1, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.1, Economic Development Activity Report.
All right. We did not have a partnership meeting in March. Childcare team continues to be focused on after-school care. We did learn a little bit more at our last meeting about the unlicensed childcare option called Family, Friends, and Neighbors, and we're going to work on some community education efforts to promote that option. So nothing major to report from our last meeting there. Note under the Small Business Incentive Grant Program, one business received a grant last month. Let's see, Chris and I and the Economic Development team here at City Hall have had several meetings with a developer who's interested in opportunities in New Ulm. We actually plan to schedule a work session following the May EDA meeting to introduce you to the group, and they'll present some concepts of some projects that they're potentially looking at doing here.
Is that a local group?
They are not local.
They're out of Northfield.
Okay.
Yeah, they approached us, and we're on their radar, and they're doing their homework. They've been having a lot of meetings behind the scenes with the Downtown Action Team and other groups in the community, so they're
What
very
types of
interested.
development are they looking at?
They're mainly focusing on some downtown revitalization efforts, but they also have a 55-plus housing model that's worked well in other communities, so they're potentially interested in doing a project like that in New Ulm. They're sort of their main focus is downtown, but they're not only interested in downtown.
Okay.
They feel with the Highway 14 expansion that there's good opportunity here, so. Let's see, finally had the tour of Westridge Place with Senator Smith. She was able to get that rescheduled, and that went well. I also worked with NewCat staff to create an informational video about Westridge Place that'll air on the local access channel, just a community interest piece. And then we've got Wendy Anderson's first quarter report attached, and she is on via Teams as well, if anyone has any questions for her. So we'll get her on the screen here.
Welcome,
Good
Wendy.
morning. How's everybody doing? So if you've had a chance to kind of review the report, business as usual, and kind of spread out through helping with grant preps, loan preps, business plans, and I'm getting a lot more help with asking about helping with marketing. So I'm expanding in that and working with quite a few clients on that, and the lenders are still doing a good job of reaching out directly. So it's kind of like I said, business as usual. Any questions?
I do not.
I don't. Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Wendy.
I'll offer a motion to accept the Economic Development Authority activity report for March 2024.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8.1, the Newbrick first quarter report. We do not have anyone here from Newbrick. Commissioners, do you have any discussion on this?
I read through the report at this point. I do not have any specific questions. No.
Commissioner Hen, were you at the meeting this last week?
Yeah, I think something that would be helpful with these reports is what they would like to know, what we would like them, because versus a narrative, something more concrete. So I had some thoughts on that, but if anyone else has any thoughts on what, if there's certain data or concrete numbers, things like that, that they would like to see brought back in these reports.
Well, there was one thing in the report that did stick out to me when I read it, and it was in regards to some additional support they may be looking for from us. I'm just trying to look at where that was in the report. I don't remember if it was for the CTE or for something else. Let's look at the next page.
I see something under the Corey.
Okay. Oh, where they may be looking for additional support from us?
They're looking for letters of support, it
Yes.
looks like, from the EDA.
Okay.
Were you thinking something financial?
I just remember reading through it the other night and getting that, and so I just, yeah,
See, letters of support for a $500,000 grant.
okay.
That they're submitting to the federal EDA.
To federally.
Yeah, I think what
Do you
you
know
you saw
much-
was the in-kind support donations from the city
That was it. Okay.
and EDA.
Sure. Thank you.
So I was a little confused when they started talking about the soil samples, and I don't know if we've ever heard if if Newbrick officially got the property donated. Do you-
No, this is
Not
still in
yet.
process, so they're waiting for the soil samples to make sure that there's no, I guess, issues with the soil quality, and then it's going to keep moving on to the next step. But it's still in process. It just hasn't officially been donated yet.
So I was kind of like, why are we checking the soil if we don't?
Yeah, they're still
All right,
months out.
Got it. Thank you.
On that. So once they get the soil samples back, it goes back to corporate office for them to figure out if they want to even transfer the land.
I think one request I would make in reports would be, because these are long-term projects, what short-term strategies they're looking at that would be generating revenues.
That's important to me, especially I would like to see that in Q2, just knowing that the year will go quickly. But yes, what their sustainability efforts and how those are coming along and developing.
I am a numbers person. I would like to know how many businesses they worked with in a quarter.
Yeah, I think
Not-
you've asked
Oh,
for that.
existing
Yes.
businesses? Yep.
I wouldn't, we've never really seen a financial report from Newbrick. Are we allowed to have that? Is that considered private for that organization?
I think they can give us a shortened version of it, but I don't think we can get a full one to show, publicly, because that's still
That'll be your
private
task,
data.
see what they're willing to share.
Okay.
I would like to see it. I mean, maybe they'll give it to us too, who knows?
Like a
Shouldn't
P&L
be
or
that
something
secret.
like that, like general ledger balance sheet, but I don't think we can get in there.
Because how much of our 50,000 is going directly towards salary or directly towards whatever? I guess I think we have a right to know that.
We actually, yes, should have that information.
So it looks like we want to have maybe a tally of how many people they're meeting with roughly. We don't need to necessarily know who.
No.
But how much of their time they're reaching out.
And where our
Is that
supported funds are
existing
going.
businesses or
Right.
like when
Right.
they're having conversations with MSU or Oak Hills or just kind of an overall number of existing, number of new projects, contacts.
And how are they doing on their grant seeking? You know, it looks like they're going to have some results. I think I read it somewhere in September. They're hoping for some results for one of the big grants.
That's something I can request some more information on
Sure.
as well. I know they have a very good grant writer. I think she's in the last 8 years have been awarded every grant she has written, so which is good. But grants change all the time, so I think if I'm understanding everything correctly, is the more secure concrete funds rather than grant funds and things like that.
I did want to note one thing. I don't see it, I'm not seeing it in this report, but I may have seen it in some other communications from them. But they had reported at one time that they were going to be a satellite office for the Small Business Development Center, and they've now decided not to pursue that. So I think that should have been included in this report, but I don't see it in here.
Thank you.
Are their meetings well attended?
Yeah, yesterday's was well attended, I would say.
Okay,
Yep.
just curious.
I have a thought on what you just,
On the Small Business Development Center.
oh, yes, because that was a bit of conversation is kind of those different wheelhouses. And the Small Business Development Center probably does fall a little bit more in the EDA wheelhouse in terms of what the different initiatives are. So
Sure.
maybe that is a positive thing that that's recognized as well, the different strategies different groups are taking. So
One thing that would help me with this report is they have signed an agreement with us where they have said they will do certain things. And if they just took that agreement and listed out, here's what we said we're going to do, and then how do we
That's a good idea.
work towards that in each quarter, that would be helpful to me, that they said they would do these, and
yep,
some of this isn't beyond the scope of what we asked for,
yep. Okay.
so I would like to see that.
One of their members requested a meeting to get this information specifically and was
Perfect.
really wanting that as soon as possible. So I can kind of review or exactly what we said we would like to see from them and give that information very clearly to her. So,
I'd be happy to join that meeting if needed.
oh, sure. Yep.
All right.
If there's no additional questions, comments on the Newburgh report, I will make a motion to receive the Newburgh Executive Director report for first quarter 2024.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
That was
Providence.